Okay, we now have a quorum in the building and also an additional member online. Good evening, everybody. This is a special meeting of the Board of Education that we decided we needed because of the recent announcement of the retirement of the superintendent of schools here for the district. We are going to ask for a motion to approve the present agenda. There is an amendment to that agenda to add a brief public comment. Because of time, speakers are only going to be permitted 3 minutes. We apologize in advance for the need to stick to that. May I have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, so approval of present agenda with the brief public comment. Do we have anybody in the audience who would like to speak at public comment? Okay. Dave O'Connor, thank you.
My name is Dave O'Connor. The reason I wanted to come tonight and just speak very briefly regarding the superintendent search is, one, to pay homage briefly to Sal D'Angelo, brought great balance to our district and really was a super captain during some turbulent seas and some good times at Chatham. I wanted to remind the community that when Sal was selected, our business administrator, Mike Chuddy, was also an applicant, and Mike was a very strong applicant. And my sense was, because Beth and Muriel and I were on the school board that made the selection, a sense was that Mike was very much kind of hurt that he hadn't gone farther because he was the business administrator under Cheryl. And I just wanted to say, I can't think of a greater internal candidate for this school board than to pick Mike Chuddy this time. Mike knows all the participants. He's immersed in the community. He would bring everything immediately, day one, in to help move the district forward through Sal's great leadership. And there's so many things that the school board needs to pay attention to. Why add a intricate, many-pathed, complicated selection process if you already have a great candidate? And it would also not, I think, give Mike confidence if you were looking outside. So please, I hope that when you do address your process, that you think long and hard about, do we really need to look outside? Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Connolly. I am in year 28 teaching middle school social studies here in Chatham. I'm currently speaking as the president of the Chatham Teachers Association, and I'm just here to encourage the board to do due diligence in their search for our next superintendent. Our district, in our eyes, is really at a crossroads. We are in a place. We have really good teachers fleeing, dozens in the last 3 years for other districts. We have retirements coming up. We need leadership. We are looking for leadership, and we need an educational leader that will take us to where Chatham used to be and where we need to get again. So I'm asking the board to please take all due diligence in finding that person for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Is there anybody online? As far as if anybody online would like public comment, please click that little button to raise your hand. Chris, are you looking at a comment or are you just here letting us know? Okay. All right. Does not look like we have an additional public comment at this time. So today's business is to allow the board an opportunity to discuss the process for hiring our next superintendent. I can say that I do not envy any members of this Board of Education at this time. The challenge of hiring a high school principal is great. The challenge of hiring both the high school principal and the superintendent of schools is nearly unprecedented. And both those positions currently have terrific people in them. They've been with us a while, long time, and long enough for sure, to have done this district a great service. We will sorely miss both John and Sal, though we wish them the best in the next phase of their lives. But in the meantime, does any board member have any comment that they would like to make related to the agenda?
This is such a brand new process for me. I was hoping to have an active dialogue with the other members to talk about what you guys have gone through before and what to be expected, what the next steps are. I have no way of knowing how this is going to play out. So I'm gonna have to rely on our veterans here to lead us the way.
I'm so disappointed that we don't have a full board here tonight. So disappointed, and something is important. This is the third time I've done this, and I just can't tell you the enormous amount of time and commitment this process takes. I don't think that all we have in front of us, I'm not sure 5 months is enough time. But without our full board, we can't have discussions like that. We also have John's position to fill. We've got a $19 million project that we haven't even turned a shovel of dirt over for. And so I just hope this board knows how much time and commitment this process is going to take. That's all. I'm very disappointed in our board tonight.
And I appreciate that. I will remind the board that we did move forward an hour. This is only the second time that we've met since then. Many people are still either just coming out of work or joining us on their way home from coming out of work.
This board is not known for having good attendance. I'll tell you. And I'm upset with that. When you run for the school board, you make a commitment.
I see that.
And it's not that you can't miss a meeting once in a while, but this is crazy with just us here.
And I feel similarly. Tonight might be the exception to the rule for me because we only decided on this on Friday or Thursday or Friday last week. So I can be a little understanding on this one being in a sort of emergency session, but yeah. Mary Ann, so you said, Mike, you said Chris has his hand up. Chris, did you have something you wanted to say? Chris, if you're making a comment, you can just go ahead at this point because you're hot mic and your video's up. You're a panelist. Okay, no worries. So Marianne, to truncate the discussion with a truncated board, I guess, and I'm sure both Beth and Muriel could second, not second this in terms of emotion, but echo this. What you just heard from the two public comments is that the board has a choice. So under state law, it's actually that the Board of Education only has one employee. That's the superintendent, and that superintendent has all the rest. I distinctly remember Lee Bordick saying this at a meeting brilliantly. That was in 2008. So because the superintendent serves at the leisure of the board, or the pleasure of the board, rather, we can unilaterally go ahead and appoint anybody we want, as long as they're qualified. Or we can choose to go through a process that is open and includes vetting. I do know I talked to Matt at length last night, so not quoting him, but speaking based on our conversation, he is strongly in favor of going with an agency, outside agency. That outside agency can either be a corporation, an individual who does these, or the Questar BOCES, our local BOCES. So as we approach this conversation, it's really going to boil down to, do we want to make this do we have a candidate that we believe unilaterally can get us where we need to be? Do we want to go with an outside agency and a fully fleshed out vetted process? Do we want a hybrid of those two things? And then if we go with the outside organization for hiring, do we want to use the BOCES? Do we want to seek a specific contractor, or do we want to go with a firm of contractors who do this or consultants who do this sort of work? Okay. That's for the public. That is the whole of it, I think, in a nutshell. Am I missing anything, ladies?
I have a question. When you're talking about an agency, are we talking about like what we had last time?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a consultant firm.
Oh, I understand. I'm not saying it that one person, but when you're talking about what Matt wanted, is that different from what?
No,
No.
Matt. So in this respect, Matt would want us to go with a full process, and kind of that's going to be our conversation tonight. We do have Chris on the line, and he'll be joining us in the executive session. It's a non-voting session. We cannot vote in the executive session on any public business. So it's really just to sort of get our heads around what the process is, what we'd like to pursue, and how we'd like to go forward from here. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Take a last shot at public comment if you want. We're running pretty quick. He just texted me, so let me see what he's got. So Chris, if you can try it one more time, I'll mute me so that there's not an echo, but it looks like we may have figured it out.
Okay, can you hear me now? Fred,
Yes, we
can you
can.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, very good. So, sorry I couldn't be there on time, everyone. I am on my way. It's probably loud because I'm in a car, but I just wanted to say I've heard the comments so far. If you can still hear me, I'm hopeful that we can find a way to streamline this process. I know it's deeply involved, and most of us do not have experience in this as board members. But my feeling is that if we retain the proper firm to help us through the process, that we'll be able to be efficient with our time and hopefully generate a pool of candidates, along with certainly other candidates that are, live within the community or nearby. But I'm in support of a full process and trying to quickly reach out to a short list of firms to consider hiring one to get this moving.
Okay, thanks, Chris. All right, so at this time, I would like to take a motion to enter executive session. Are you guys here for social studies? Yeah, you picked the right meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this meeting will end in an executive session. We will not be returning to open session. And we need a district clerk pro temp. It can be a standing board member. Okay, can I have a motion to appoint Marianne as? Okay. All in favor? All right. Thank you very much.